Greatness is a virtue that many of us aspire to achieve, whether that be through the skills we develop or the impact we have on others. We all have something in our lives that we wish to be great at, but there's a level of greatness that's Some of us achieve and goes far beyond what we expect from most people, where they make such a significant contribution to the world that we as a society have decided that these are the figures who are great enough to be taught in school, great enough to be quoted, and great enough to be reviewed when it's recognized. But in the process of venerating those who did great things, we often fail to learn the full picture of who they are as people, only learning the good, but not the bad or ugly side, allowing us to succumb to the pure. The error we make when a person's achievement allows us to revise everything else about them. Now, to clarify, my intention is not to discredit their actual achievements, nor am I interested in canceling them. I'm also not going to mention things unsurprising to their time, because applying today's expectations to the people of yesterday makes absolutely no sense. Most people that are probably racist or sexist or homophobic or so I'm not really interested in the virtue signaling of a person that 100 years ago said something problematic. However,
Nag-YouTube ka rin pala. Nandito kami kami naglo-live. Si is it's nits. Five views. Philippines. What Philippines? Good evening to Philippines. What's out? 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 Yes. One day is like
Churchill and his family ordered 170,000 tons of wheat from Australia to be transported to Europe in order to build a stockpile. Let me say that again. He ordered food to pass by millions of starving people who were his British subjects at the time in order to be used for storage. But this isn't terribly surprising given that honestly, I hate people. They are a beastly people with a beastly people. As well as breaking the family severity of his duty by the time he finally approved for food to be sent, up to 2 million people survived. Lastly, the man Jenkins, since he represented a largely peaceful movement advocating for Indian independence, insisting with earlier correspondent beliefs that certain races were inferior to others and his general disdain for India, Churchill was completely against any form of self-determination for British colonies, and actively wished for Gandhi and his movement to die. Now that I've pissed off the English and made goodwill with the Indians, it's time to burn the bridge with the
medyo kumita na tayo ba? Medyo kumita na tayo. Ano yung malabas? Bukan. Saan ba? Saan ka kayo? Yung kumita. Yun o. Sa'yo sa photo. Saan yan? Okay.
but also insist that those beliefs don't apply to his own. careful to save lives. It would be a bit like him saying, "Hey, Drake, you need to stop doing Indians
Pinabigas
really
pa.
unsurprising." He did
Kalahating
this
kilo.
in
Kada araw. Paano nakikita? Kada araw? Hindi. Depende. CDs 1 to 3. CDs 1 to 3.
and we somehow concluded that the best way to defeat it is to sleep with teenagers who were more than half a century younger than us. This common shortcuts he helps inspire younger generations throughout his life, convincing leaders around the world to use nonviolent fully at the top of the mountain. If there's one thing is secure, it was winning. Riley's life as a civil rights leader, living in the elevation was despite the personal claims of often being subordinate to male leaders and fighting for the same cause. That's when he gave his family the same he really only had
Ay, sama ka pala sa amin.
sinfulness of his infidelity and reportedly felt unworthy in many aspects not wanting to be treated as a slave. But someone who ended up becoming is none other than Saint Teresa of the man synonymous with selflessness. Mother Teresa continues to be admired in even receiving the Nobel Peace Prize in 1979. The best way to comprehend the impact on the world is by understanding that her advocacy wasn't merely to reduce suffering, illness, or even poverty. Rather, it was to bring as many people to the doctor's office as possible. Oftentimes, this objective happened to overlap with goodness, and taking those with illness, but they were also at their home. And may not even know how, but she was successful. Many of the facilities
Kapag di kinaya. Kaya sulat mo na lang yun sa atong para sure.
on a volunteer rate, patients were simply given tests rather than offering medication, and recalled how needles continue to be reused without being sterilized, which would be horrible. What was even more horrible during Mother Teresa's organization tens of millions of dollars every year, most of which is Teresa's actions were based on the concept like her view that poor people suffering in this world is actually a good thing. Not saying there is something beautiful in seeing the poor accept their lot to suffer like Christ's passion. It is from this framework of glorifying human pain where we can begin to understand why none of the hundreds of millions of dollars Mother Teresa received for her efforts went to bringing in doctors to function on the scene, or why water heaters for washing and cleaning were used, and why proper medication wasn't purchased. Additionally, a reporter who visited these facilities observed how all boys were urinating about 3 times a day and saw overload for food. There was clearly a general reference to Mother Teresa's care. So despite being declared a saint by Pope Francis in 2015, to many of her critics, she was certainly anything but. What's the opposite? Deeply religious, quiet, and violent, and conflict. Yet both are in the same category. Those who are venerated by millions around the world while not actually being great people. I am. Talking about Mr. Ernesto J.K., the ubiquitous symbol for counterculture and rebellion, he tortured and executed hundreds of people and established Cuba's first military unit in or concentration camps. Tens of thousands of intellectuals, gay people, priests, conscientious oppressors, really anyone who is considered antisocial, such as hippies, which is especially ironic considering that the very people who celebrate these days would be the exact types of people thrown into these forced labor camps or just straight up executed. Despite having the supposed morally superior ideology, Jane referred to gay people as sexual perverts. That his iconic photograph has been making filthy riches, filthy rich from the very moment he died, selling millions of posters, hats, flags, hoodies, backpacks, mouse pads, shirts, you name it, being commercialized and exploited more than possibly any other figure in human history. Today, his rockstar image to most people makes him less Lenin and more Lenin, which, speaking of the devil, consider there is no doubt that John Lennon, along with the rest of the Beatles, forever changed the world of music. So it's quite understandable why millions of boomers, and frankly, even younger generations adore John Lennon for having created so many songs that continue to be popular to this day. Throughout his life, he was also famous for and became a symbol for it too. But it's a shame he didn't practice what he preached, given that he publicly confessed to having beaten women, cheated on his wife, treated their child like absolute garbage, and then left his family to be with Yoko Ono so they could make whatever the hell this was. Perhaps this is why he found it easy to imagine there was no hell. He probably didn't expect to enter it anyways. But he's far from the only great person to have treated his significant other like crap. Take JFK, for instance. A president beloved by Americans from both the left and right. Something that is impossible for any of our politicians today. I'm sure part of it is the simple fact that JFK was young, attractive, and assassinated. Comparing that to the two candidates we currently have, where both of them are not young, not attractive, and not assassinated. But an even bigger reason is that every issue, person, and news story is polarized to such an extent that people will have completely different facts on a subject based on where they get their sources from. Take, for instance, the story of Robert Kennedy Jr.'s Super Bowl ad turned presidential was very similar to an ad from his uncle, JFK, back when he was a sponsor. I can see how there's a blind spot on the right for this story, with only 16 out of 119 sources coming from that side, possibly due to RFK's better approval among Republicans. I'm also able to read through summaries that Ground News creates, which highlight
he was the fourth child of a middle-class family made up of his father, Alois Hitler, and Clara Franzen, Alois's third wife. Adolf's parents were cousins, so in order to marry, they had no choice but to obtain a papal dispensation. At birth, young Hitler was baptized in St. Stephen's Church in the same village where he grew up. The chosen name was no coincidence. Adolf comes from Old New German, the earliest stage of the German language. Adel means nobility and wealth and court, so Adolf means nobility. Later, during his youth and adulthood, Hitler used his origins to create the nickname Wolf. In fact, during the Second World War, several of his headquarters adopted this term, such as the Bullschanze in East Prussia, the Berlin in Ukraine, and others. Adolf Hitler's childhood was hostile. He was brutally beaten, and to avoid suffering, he chose to stop training so his father wouldn't see him as vulnerable. He performed well in primary school, but in his first year of secondary school, he was suspended and had no choice but to repeat the year. According to his teachers, Hitler showed no desire to study. However, there was one subject he followed closely and with deep interest: history, taught by Leopold Koresh, a teacher whose ideological discourse directly influenced Hitler's beliefs. In Mein Kampf, his first book, Hitler revealed that his poor academic performance was directly linked to his troubled relationship with his father. Failing exams and ignoring teachers were his way of defying arrogance. For years, father and son argued about the career path Adolf should take. Alois wanted him to graduate as a customs officer and later to be a government official, just as he himself had been for the young age. The future Führer had different plans. Since childhood, he dreamed of becoming a painter. He was obsessed with the arts, later even defined himself as a misunderstood artist. On January 3rd, 1903, Adolf Hitler received news that would change his life forever. His father, Alois Hitler, died. The event left a deep silence. His academic performance worsened dramatically, and he seemed to have no direction. At 16, he abandoned secondary school without a degree. As time passed, certain traits of his personality became clear, and Hitler was developing into a pan-German nation. He despised the ethnic diversity of the Austro-Hungarian Empire and deeply loathed the Habsburgs. Years earlier, during his school years, he had already taken note of the politician and printing man, Georg von Schönberg, alongside Victor Adler, Robert Attai, Heinrich Friedrich, and Engelbert Bernstein. Schönberg dropped with the Linz program of 1882, a political platform that demanded the complete Germanization of the Austrian state. This meant creating an Austria dominated by Germany. The manifesto proposed ceding the regions of Galicia, Bukovina, and Dalmatia to Hungary, and also suggested making German the official language of Austria. The Linz program had no success, as it was not supported by any influential political circles. Yet that was not the decisive factor. Schöner's own
Nakatulog pala ako.